With Washington State bumping up the last day of the indoor mask mandate, has WSU made a decision on when its own policies will change?
And find out what's on the agenda for tonight's City Council meeting next on Murrow News 8.
Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Gillis Williams.
And I'm Riley Fitzgerald. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Pullman is experiencing a fair amount of rain this week. While rain isn't anything new to the Palouse, there is a couple things to look out for. Connor McAvoy will have more on what this week's forecast will look like later in the show. For now, the Palouse River is expected to reach a minor flood stage tomorrow. According to the National Weather Service, predictions show that the Palouse River in Potlatch will crest tomorrow afternoon at around 15.5 feet. Minor flood stages start at 15 feet.
The University of Idaho has bid farewell to mask wearing for the rest of the semester. According to Pullman Radio, U of I President Scott Green announced in an email to all students and faculty yesterday that effective today, masks will no longer be required in indoor settings, yet professors and instructors are still allowed to require masks in their classrooms.
WSU and other Washington universities reportedly met yesterday to discuss how they plan to move in solidarity with each other in response to the governor's removal of the mask mandate. The governor announced yesterday that the mandate removal will move to March 12th, and WSU spokesperson Phil Weiler said that a formal announcement on WSU's updated mask policy will be made later this evening or tomorrow.
A discussion being brought up tonight at the Pullman City Council meeting is an originally denied motion to make sidewalk improvements along Colorado Street. It was denied in July, but the HRA, who operates the Coug Housing Office, was not in attendance. They plan to represent their project with the hope that the council will reconsider their previous decision. You can watch the meeting on the City of Pullman YouTube page at 7 p.m.
WSU Pullman announced today that they are in the process of developing its first ever campus strategic plan. The chairs of the committee sent out an email to the WSU community inviting them to virtual listening and feedback sessions to learn more and provide feedback on the plan. According to the email, the plan will strongly inform the chancellor's decisions around campus development and allocation of resources. The sessions will take place Tuesday, March 8th from 9 to 10 a.m. and Wednesday, March 9th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
WSU's president and his staff are going to relocate this summer. Our reporter Chris Mitchell is in the downtown at the new location.
Thanks, Riley. I'm outside the town center building on Main Street in downtown Pullman, which is going to be the new home of WSU President Kirk Schultz and his staff. They're expected to move out of the French Lighty building on campus this summer as a way to move forward on the One WSU initiative. And one of the main things behind this is differentiating between WSU president and Pullman chancellor. Pullman did not used to have a chancellor, and now all of the Pullman campuses will have a chancellor, while President Kirk Schultz will be able to interact and work freely with the other branches of WSU without being so tied down to the WSU Pullman campus. And WSU spokesperson Phil Weiler told me that even though it's only 1.5 miles of a move geographically, it's more of a symbolic move to show the rest of the WSU community that President Schultz is committed to all the campuses and not just Pullman. Chris Mitchell with Murrow News 8 in Pullman, and back to you guys at the desk.
2 Lewiston 14-year-olds are being charged as adults with attempted murder. According to the Lewiston Police Department, teenagers Tristan M. Arnzen and Chloe A. Marks shot multiple times at an adult man and young girl, who were later taken to the hospital. According to Moscow Pullman Daily News, the suspects planned to shoot and kill the victims prior to the crime. The 2 victims remain in life-threatening condition. Anyone with information relating to the investigation should contact the Lewiston Police Department.
A maroon Dodge Journey was involved in an accident in Latah County Union parking lot last Tuesday at 8:10 a.m. The Moscow Police Department is asking the public for help in identifying the driver of this hit and run. If you have any information about this accident, contact Officer Warner with the number on your screen.
What's their menu?
A club in Pullman is celebrating their 100-year anniversary. We'll have more coming up on Murrow News 8. fix it on the screen and it wasn't on. This year, the Kiwanis Club of Pullman is celebrating its 100th year of service. The club leads service projects in Pullman and has about 75 members. The Pullman Kiwanis Club is the oldest and largest service club in the greater Pullman area.
The United Way of Whitman County has 2 grants equal to over $50,000 to reimburse nonprofits for emergency food and shelter, according to the Daily Evergreen. Both religious and governmental nonprofits are eligible for this support. The grants are from the American Rescue Plan Act and the Emergency Food and Shelter Program and have separate applications. The application deadline is March 9th.
Oak on Main revived the Feeding Our Friends program on February 8th, providing free meals for the Pullman community every day. According to the Daily Evergreen, restaurant co-owner Michael Byrne said that he and Frank Marriott founded the program in 2017 to distribute free meals on a monthly basis to nearby residents who struggle with food insecurity. The program initially closed in November last year due to a lack of funding and donations.
Several groups across the Palouse have begun a camp to raise money for Moscow Mountain's first legally protected trail. According to the Daily Evergreen, a group of nonprofit organizations across the Palouse area are planning to raise $40,000 for the trail easement for land near Idler's Rest Nature Preserve. The project will be called Moscow Mountain Forever, and the trail will be open to non-motorized use. More information can be found at the Moscow Mountain Forever website.
Well, I really hated getting into the newsroom today after dealing with the rain outside. Connor, what can we see for the next few days?
The general city outlay of the Palouse isn't going to be looking like it's going to be flooding, so that's a good thing. Today in Pullman, we have a 56-degree high and a 42-degree low with 10-mile-per-hour winds, and frankly, that's a lot better than what we've been having with record lows as of last week. If we move into tomorrow, we can find that we're going to have a similar outlook, but it's going to be raining. It rained earlier today and it stopped, but it's going to keep raining today and probably tonight and a little bit tomorrow, which isn't going to be great. But a 47-degree high, a 40-degree low with a bit of rain tomorrow and with an 8-mile-per-hour wind. And as we move into the state map, we can definitely see that there's a certain trend when it comes to new weather. If we look at Pullman, we can see that, and then we can see Spokane is very similar with a 59-degree high and a 44-degree low. It's just going to be partly cloudy, as we've been saying. Tri-Cities and Yakima in the middle of the state are pretty high with a 65-degree high and a 35-degree low. It's a lot better, and I'm a little jealous of that. And Yakima is looking about the same at 61 and 39 overall. And if we move into the west side, we can see that it's pretty cloudy, as we can see, with a 59-degree high and a 47-degree low. Got some family out there, and they're not really happy about the lack of warmth in March. And in Olympia, we can have a similar thing with a 58-degree high and a 46-degree low. And if we move into the 5-day forecast, we can see that on Wednesday and Thursday, it is going to be raining, raining, raining. And overall, as you can see, for the rest of the day, it's just going to be cloudy overall. That's all I got for weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
How is the WSU women's basketball team making history as they're closing their season?
And stay tuned to find out how the men's basketball team shaped up against Oregon State last night.
Good evening, I'm Alex McCollum with sports. For the first time in program history, the WSU women's basketball team has earned the number 3 seed for the 2022 Pac-12 tournament. The team currently has 11 conference wins and 19 total wins for the season, setting records in both the Pac-12 and NCAA. The team will take on the winner of the UC Berkeley University of Utah game this Thursday. Tip-off is at 8:30 at the Michelob Ultra Arena in Las Vegas. In more women's basketball news, the Pac-12 announced the WSU women's basketball player Bella Murakatete as one of their most improved players of the year, along with Southern California's Jordan Jenkins. Murakatete started off the season with an average of 6.7 points and an average 5.3 rebounds per game. She's concluding the season with an average 10.3 points and 7.3 rebounds per game. She also ranks in the Pac-12's top 10 in blocks and rebounds for the season at 203 total rebounds and 48 blocks. The WSU men's basketball team beat out the Oregon State Beavers in last night's game. Michael Flowers scored a total 27 points and Mohamed Gay added 8 out of his total 19 during overtime for a final score of 103-97. The men's team plays Oregon State again at 8 p.m. this Thursday at Beasley Coliseum. Thanks, guys. Back to the desk.
March marks the beginning of Women's History Month.
Find out what the theme of this month is and what the month is meant to celebrate.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Today marks the beginning of Women's History Month. This month is dedicated to honoring women, shining a light on their current societal contributions, and celebrating the many important roles women have played in American history. This year's official theme is Break the Bias.
Wow, Riley, it just really shows you that, looking at other examples like Serena and Venus Williams, it just shows you that women can do all sorts of things. It's just so amazing. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Thanks for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Have a good night.